Reclaiming Timeless Ways. Mike Traster, Simon Fuller, glad to have you along with us for another episode. And Mike, let's get right into it. What are we talking about today?
I think we're going to, I don't know, but I think we're going to keep this brief. But it's a big subject. But it's something you can synopsize in your own mind quickly. And that is gossip, right? There's a difference between me coming up to you and saying, that guy rips people off all the time, and I know several people who he's burnt, right? I'm protecting you. But what are your motivations, right? So when you talk about somebody, is your motivation to protect somebody, or is it malice, right? Are you looking for revenge? Maybe I got my ass whipped in a wrestling match when I was in the 8th grade, and I never let it go, right? Right? Sounds ridiculous, but people do things like that.
It happens.
Right. Power and influence. So you bring them down, you get higher up than them in the scale, right? On the stairway of power, maybe with social power, status, right? Cheap attention.
Right.
You have, let me tell you what I know about
so-and-so.
Yeah, you don't have a damn thing to say.
Right.
But as long as you got people tempted, giving them these little crumbs, they're like, ooh, now you're getting attention instead of not.
Right.
Jealousy, they're successful. They're doing something well that you don't think you could do. Right. Maybe you feel stupid in math class and they're a genius.
Right.
And it pisses you off, So you're jealous and you're vengeful, and it's a mean-spirited kind of thing. Instead of saying, hey, you know what, we all have different gifts.
Right.
A poor communication skill, you're just clueless, right? Threatened and jealous, I think, are the same thing.
Right.
Somebody starts a rumor about somebody to get ahead of them in a job list. Right? They want to compete with this person, but not honestly.
Yeah, they're trying to gain favor. It could be a job. It could be in a school situation. It could, with a popularity contest. In any situation, you're trying to defame them to bring you up instead of elevating yourself.
Right.
Well, this is an easier, cheaper, quicker fix. I'll just bring my competitor down.
Right.
Therefore, by staying the same, I'm risen above them.
Right. Yeah, it's
And
almost
not
like
thought about the consequences.
it's almost like tripping somebody in a foot race.
Right. Bingo.
Yeah, you should get disqualified, or making a sale. You don't want to buy that from them.
You can buy it from me.
Yeah. Or intimidation.
Yeah.
If you're a gossip, people are afraid of you because they know.
And it's funny, I'm gonna age myself a little bit more trying to be the dad who's trying to stay in the lingo, but now they refer to this as tea, Mike.
I never
it's
heard
the
of
tea. No, I know.
Tea.
I'm probably
Wow.
not even using it right. I've got some tea to spill, they
Tea,
say.
okay.
And that's kind of I'm bringing a little humor to this pretty serious topic where I'm spilling the tea, Mike.
Right.
And you see this a lot, both amongst folks and probably more so than ever with the social media aspect. Gossip as a whole is dangerous. I look at it as you're saying something without knowing the whole truth.
Right.
And even in the situations that I think you were touching upon where you do know it to be truth, now what is your motive? Right. So the first problem is if you don't even know it to be true, zip it. If you haven't verified the truth of it, zip it.
Right.
And let's pretend you have verified, but now you're using it in one of those situations that you had on your list. You're using it to gain favor, to get ahead in a malicious way. How has that served anyone to the good?
It's a good question.
So even then, it's not warranted.
Right.
But all that being said, I look at the social media aspect where it's happening, in my opinion, a lot of good happens out there too. Sure. You're seeing pictures of family and accomplishments, and we're so spread out. But you're also seeing the abuse of somebody who doesn't have to look somebody in the eye,
right,
and and say something to them, they can do it in a quiet, dark room, typing it,
They're not gonna get smacked.
and not going to get smacked. And
Literally.
unfortunately, I don't think we oftentimes think about the consequences that could have in their world. This show began with an intention by you to try to make the world a little bit better, piece by piece by piece, because of some experiences that you've known to be, or that have happened in your world related to suicide.
Yes.
Now, you want to see, you look at kids
Right.
nowadays, and I see an
Well, they
alarming
give up.
rate
They give up.
of the bullying and
Right.
the meanness
Oh,
and the
God,
gossip
God.
and all that you're talking about, and it's impacting people very negatively,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes to a fatal end. That's the end.
Yeah.
And if you were a part of that or allowed that to go on,
Yeah.
you are a part of it.
It's part of the chain. Right.
And that chain's got to be broken.
It does.
There is nothing good that comes out of the word gossip, Mike, ever.
Agree.
And I know we did a show on never say never or ever,
No, well,
but I can't think of a situation where gossip ever made something better.
I wanted to bring up a couple of examples.
Yeah,
Let's pray for so-and-so that he drinks less.
yeah.
How do you know he drinks? Maybe he's got a mild case of cerebral palsy.
Right.
Or maybe he's on a medication that changes his balance. Or he has an inner ear infection.
I'll take you one step further, and I didn't say anything.
Okay.
But it's funny you bring up that because you're alluding to shaking, correct?
Okay, right.
I'm assuming that's where you're going with the assumption that because somebody's shaking, they
Okay.
might be drinking. I ran into a guy who I was chatting with, and he was shaking quite a bit. And I didn't ask, nor was I going to say he was a drinker, but
Sure.
it did pop into my head. I
Right.
wonder if this is a guy who's maybe got shakes from that. And he took it upon himself to say, oh, by the way, forgive my shaking today. Every morning, I go take a 36-degree cold dip, a polar plunge.
Oh, wow.
For 5 to 6 minutes. He manufactured one out of an old deep freeze.
Okay.
So and I'm like, really?
Wow.
Now I'm off track here with where your story was going, but instantly I'm like, what? You don't. The point is, I didn't have a clue the situation
Right.
that came to his shake. And if he wouldn't have said something, I wouldn't have ever in a million years guessed that this is a guy that each morning he starts his day for medical and health reasons with a 5 to 6 minute polar plunge. And so he's waiting, and he naturally lets his core temperature get back up.
Right.
And who would have ever thought
And
that?
he's-
But I was assuming things before that,
Right.
before he told me that.
Yeah, he could have an essential tremor, or he could have Parkinson's, God knows.
Right.
But he took a cold bath.
Literally. And I went on to, of course, question him on all that, but we won't get into that on this
Right.
show. But I, of course, wasn't going to say anything, but that could have led to a gossip. My assumption of what he was.
Right.
Boy, I went in there and he was shaking uncontrollably. He must have needed a toddy to start his day to get balanced. That's how things start.
And it's funny, I'm around alcohol so infrequently that I didn't even relate to the shaking as an alcohol association.
When people are coming off, they'll say sometimes they can
Yeah,
they can shake,
right.
even them out. So
Yeah.
dangerous. It's a dangerous thing, gossip, Mike.
And the prayer thing,
Yeah,
how do you know that what you're praying about is what's wrong?
Sure.
And are you just spreading crap
right,
and making, with a nice face,
right.
right? So that's the end of that one, unless you want to, hit a few more nails with it.
I think we all know it's bad, and I think we all understand what it is. It's just a matter of whether we're the problem
Right.
personally,
Yeah.
stop,
Right.
or
Stop.
whether we see somebody else who's the problem, which is very likely.
I think
It is our job to intervene.
I think we all get tempted to gossip.
Sure we do.
Well, here
Sure
and
we
there,
do.
So I don't know that any of us is immune to it.
No, I guess it's the old mom and dad. Think before you speak. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all.
STFU, right.
Yeah. Reclaiming Timeless Ways, Mike Traster, Simon Fuller. Until next time, have a fantastic day.